Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video will be on this beautiful gown with side gathers for our princesses today. And if this is your first time of stopping by, do wait to hit on the subscribe button, join the family, and to my old subscribers I say thank you very much for all your support. So without wasting so much time, let's get straight into the video, and I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to wash my eyes, give me a thumbs up, share my videos to family and friends. So for this style, because I don't want this video to be too long, I've already cut out my basic gown bodice pattern, and what I have here is I have here my bust, and I have my waistline, and then my hip line, and also my hemline. So all these measurements are divided by 4 if you don't know how to cut this out. So my bust line is my shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus about 1 inch for ease. Then my neckline is 3 inches by 3.5 inches. 3.5 is the neck depth, and then I went down by ½ inch for my shoulder slope. Then my waist measurement is my half length, and then my hip is divided by my shoulder measurement divided by my shoulder measurement to my foot. So for the side gathers, I want it to be a bit above my hip, so I am marking at 3 inches. I'll make a point there. That's from my waist 3 inches down before I get to my hip. And then for the center, I want the center to be about 2.5 inches on both sides. That's 5 inches by the time you open it. So I'll mark 2.5 inches from below the hip all the way to the hem. Once I am done with this, I'll go ahead and connect these points. You can mark, if you're making for a younger child, please do it to reduce this 2.5 inches so that it's not too wide, and if you can increase it if you want for a bigger child, but I think this 2.5 inches is going to work for the bigger children. So I'll go ahead, and then these 3 inches that we mark at this point, I'll connect it with a straight line as well. And then I'm going to use my free hand to make a curve here until I'm okay with what I have. So I'm just trying to get a perfect curve. You can use your French curve to do this if you have, but I just use my free hand to do this. And then we are going to go ahead and cut this out. If you haven't subscribed up to this moment, do wait to hit on the subscribe button, join the family, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and as usual, please wash my eyes. So I'm going to be using this pattern to cut out the back. The only difference is just the adding my zipper allowance and also adjusting the armhole. I'm coming. So for this side, you can see I've already transferred it to another fabric, and I have my fabric folded into 2. At this side, I added ½ inch stitching allowance. I don't know if there's any need for this ½ inch because we have excess there, but I just decided to add I don't know. Then at the hem area, I am adding 2 inches stitching allowance to it as well. And then for this other side, this depends on how full you want your gathers to be. For mine, I did 15 inches. So once I cut this out, you are going to be having 4 pieces of it that I separated my own, so that it will be easier for me to attach. So I'll connect these lines all the way to where the 15 inches ended. Then I'll go ahead and cut this out. So guys, this is what we have after we are done. And then onto the bodice, you can see I've transferred it to another fabric to cut out my back bodice, and I added my zipper allowance to it. So I'll go ahead and separate this. You can see that the front bodice, I have 2 fabric for it. I wanted to use the same fabric, but I decided to change it and use a purple fabric. There's small dots of purple color on the fabric, on the pattern fabric I am using. You guys might not see it, so don't think that it's so different from the pattern fabric. No, there is small purple design on it. So I decided to use it so that it's different from the main fabric, so that you guys can see it well on what we are doing. So this is what we have, and I also added stitching allowance, ½ inch stitching allowance all around the fabric, the armhole, the neckline, the center pieces. So I'll bring in my back bodice, and we are going to be doing facing front at this point. Then I'm going to go ahead and stitch down by ½ inch on the shoulder areas. Once I am done with that, this is what we have. You can see we have the shoulders are stitched. Then I have this strap of fabric of 1.5 inches width, and then the length is as long as your neckline or armhole. So I'm going to be stitching from the back to the front. So the front of the um, fabric strap is facing the back of the gown. I'll go ahead and stitch it down by half of an inch all the way through, and then I'll fold in by half and then fold over again by half and then stitch it. So I want this stitch to be to the front. By the time I'm done, it will be to the front. So this is what we have. As I was going on with the star, the light went off, and so we changed location because we must finish this star. So I bring in my gather part. This is what we have. Remember I said it's going to be 4, 2 at the front and then 2 for the back. So I'll just separate it. I'll pick up 1 for the purpose of this tutorial. I'll open up my front bodice, and then at this point we'll be doing front facing front. That's the cuff part is where you are going to be facing on the fabric. That's the cuff part to the cuff part, and then I'll place it this way. From the hem, we are going to be stitching from the hem. So I'll stitch all the way from the hem by half of an inch, and then as I'm getting towards that cuff area, I'll start making my place. At this plates or gathers, whatever you want to do, I use gathers, depends on how much fabric that you have. So you're going to gather it into the fabric all the way to the end, and I'll do the same thing for the other remaining 3 sides. So guys, this is what we have after we are done with the gathering part of this sides. So this is what we have. I'm sorry for the noise, we are on holiday. And also the back side of it, so you can see that the front is more visible. That's the reason I decided to use a different fabric so that you guys can see it well. So once you are done with that, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to do front facing front, and then I'll stitch down by 1 inch. I added 1 inch stitching allowance. I'll stitch down by 1 inch all the way from the armhole to the hem of it, and I'll do the same thing for this other side. And the light came up again. So guys, this is what we have after we are done stitching it. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to hem this gown. You can see it's coming out beautifully. So I'll hem it by 2 inches. Remember I added 2 inches. I'll fold it in by 2 inches and stitch that all the way to the end, and then I'll open it and do front facing front. I'll close up my zipper allowance just like we do, and then I'll go ahead and attach my zipper to it. And that's it for this style. You can see how beautiful it is. I hope you find value in it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, share my videos to family and friends, subscribe if you haven't already, wash my ass and do all the good stuff, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.